First look at Chopper in Season 2 of One Piece. Imagine they release a fake trailer with Chopper as an actual raccoon dog. First look at the One Piece animated by Wit Studio. Four real-world things you can learn from anime. Always give your 100%. Never lose hope. The world's largest military is nothing more than a personal guard for the billionaire class. They will commit genocide in order to enact this brutal hierarchy and use propaganda to justify it and their endless wars. Our only hope is to join together in a working-class revolution to reclaim our freedom. Volleyball. I redrew Skypiea Zoro in the current art style. Live-action crocodile. So, we taking shots with how many times Joe's Sir Crocodile will be shirtless? Not enough. And people say to skip Foxy Pirate arc. Mother Flapper took over the world government with a Davy back fight. Gorosei didn't stand a chance. I drew the Straw Hat crew as Pokemon. One Piece summarized. It took 152 hours. I'm glad Wit Studios is taking a crack at this adaptation, because what is this? Downplay the damage, up the devil fruits. Toei. New Big Mom and Kaido art by Oda. How huge is that motorcycle? Unpopular opinion. Roger's pre-time skip design was way cooler. I like to think of it as the sort of mythic story version of him the public knows versus the actual first-hand accounts from people that knew him. Definitely this. To the rest of the world, Luffy is likely known as a flapping monster, taking on warlords, emperors, the world government. I like to imagine that's exactly how they viewed Roger as well. Oda-sensei's parents after reading One Piece. When I visited my family recently, my parents expressed an opinion about One Piece for the very first time. That story about the deer was really good. Deer? Ichiro Oda, 2002. A random garage in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Was Shanks trolling or being serious? Marco is the only devil fruit user Shanks ever invited to his crew.
What?
He invited Buggy right after Roger's execution. I need to know your thoughts on this. Oda should end One Piece without revealing what the One Piece actually is, and then afterwards announce, "You want the ending? You can have it. I left all the answers in a book somewhere on this planet. Now you just have to find it." Thus, starting the real-life Great Pirate era. Oda would know the ending still, so we just have to find him. What if he said those words during his execution? Why would he be executed? For hiding the One Piece. Makes sense. Luffy fan art by me. Why nobody told me Luffy could just stretch his teeth instead of his cheeks? The Straw Hats as Avenger statues. Bro, what vitamin comes from the sun? Kobe bagging an absolute baddie cause Luffy punched him 2 years ago. Trust me, Oda sent me this on Discord. Joy Boy is as strong as ever. Bring me my son, Buggy. It is time for him to take his place upon the empty throne. For those who don't truly understand how gargantuan Zunisha is. Nom 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 nom. Reasons why Jinbei is the GOAT. He doesn't have a devil fruit, or sometimes even haki, and half the time he isn't underwater. All he is straight hands. Called Big Mom, a person who could kill him easily, a mere Yonko, showing that he has no fear for one of the strongest people in the world. Finally, he protected Luffy from Akainu, and even when he still got hit, he said he was sorry, and literally got Luffy out of his depression. My girlfriend and I found the All Blue. No wonder Sanji couldn't find it. I wouldn't have thought to look for it in Bolingbrook, Illinois either. But for real, this sushi/hibachi place was awesome. Wall-to-wall One Piece merch, themed sushi rolls, Nika roll, Zeph roll, Monster Trio roll, etc. You name it. I wish I could take more photos, but I definitely would have weirded out the other patrons. If you're from the Chicago area or passing through, see it for yourself. Old or new? I like the new overall, but prefer Luffy's teeth in the old one. But man, Zoro looks 100 times better. It feels like Zoro went from please stop doing that to don't ever do that again. One Piece has over 1,000 episodes. There's no way to summarize everything in one picture. One picture? Gop! It's your damn family again! Luffy's birthday in Paris. Dude, France is so into One Piece. I was walking around one night and just heard some food delivery guy whistling Bink's sake. Based AF. Wanted to share my new One Piece tattoo. Who has the hardest goal in One Piece? Unite every race as a family? World's strongest swordsman? Collect all legendary swords? Cure all diseases? Pirate King? Draw a map of the world? Equality for fishmen and merfolk? Overthrow the world government? Marry Luffy. Wise words from Oda. Don't forget to smile in any situation. As long as you are alive, there will be better things later, and there will be many. Was Chopper better post or pre-time skip? Would Popeye be Admiral level or higher? In before, Popeye was the OG Joy Boy. The One Piece is a can of spinach. When Luffy eats it, he will unlock Nika's final form. Come on, that's just ridiculous. No way Luffy ever eats spinach. It would be his final challenge. The One Piece is a balanced diet. Can we as a community come together? As One Piece is on its final stretch, can we as a community come together and keep what the One Piece, the final treasure, is hidden? Let the people that didn't get to witness this masterpiece enjoy and keep guessing as we did? Can we keep it hidden as the Roger Pirates and the world government did as a token of respect for the series and those that will pick it up after us? Unfortunately, that's impossible. I personally don't talk about major plot points with people who don't know, but there's YouTubers whose livelihood is based upon talking about this stuff. Plus, people who just don't care. My hopes is that Oda makes the One Piece something that won't make sense if you haven't read/watched the series. Usopp vs. Doc Q. Yeah, how do you like my new disease? I call it. You'll die if you step on this island disease. Seriously? Can we just pay a tribute to these guys who have stood throughout Luffy's attacks without even breaking once? Out of all the admirals, which one looks the most accurate? I love how Ace wore as a tribute to Dodon the same necklace. Luffy tattoo. Different Luffy transformation references in the Olympics. Oda's special Q&A. Question 1. When Luffy is using Gear 5, he pulls things like goggles and baseball helmet from what looks like a Hagoromo feathered rammet. Please tell us how it works. Answer. It's the entrance to Nika's fantasy. Question 2. Sabo inherited the Mera Mera no Mi Flame Fruit. He's demonstrating its power to the fullest. Did he do some training to properly use the Mera Mera no Mi Flame Fruit? Answer. He is training every day. I think that Sabo, who regained his memory, remembered a lot of things. Question 3. Question. Has Dragon ever lived together with Luffy? Answer. No. At least not in what Luffy remembers. He is different with Kuma because he's the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and if their parentage relationship is revealed, it'll endanger Luffy's life. I wonder what kind of feeling he felt when he is forced to leave his family, and what did he thought when he saw his son in Logtown. Question 4. The ship of the Blackbeard pirates is named Saber of Zebek. Does it have any relation to Rox D. Zebek? Answer. Zebek is the name of a sailing ship, so it could be a coincidence, or maybe not. Question 5. The Kamusari Divine Departure attack that took out Kid in one hit, was that move taught by Roger, or did Shanks learn it by imitating him? Answer. He remembered it because he always looks up to Roger. It's not just something that anyone from the Roger Pirates can imitate, so Shanks' talent is quite astonishing. Question 6. Please tell us how the bounty system of the Cross Guild works. Answer. Fleet Admiral, 5 crowns, Admiral, 3 crowns, Vice Admiral, 5 stars, Rear Admiral, 3 stars, Captain and Commodore, 1 star, Field Officers, Commander rank and below, 1 million betties, Company Officers and below, 100,000 betties. 1 crown equals 10 stars, and 1 star equals 100 million betties. Famous Marines are a special case. What episode was One Piece on when you were born?
What?
I am older than One Piece. Yeah, this post is a slap in the face. Just started watching this show after clowning on it for years, and found it's amazing. Am I stupid? Most people don't watch the series because it's more than 1,000 episodes long, but for most people who are into the series, that's one of the biggest reasons they like the show. Some of the arcs can feel a bit long, but the show is peak. How is Brook bleeding? How is he eating, speaking, seeing, or smelling? Because Oda wants him to. And pooping. Very important. Can someone explain to me how Kobe went from this to this in like a month? 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 10-kilometer run every day. Nah, he'd be bald by now. Then 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 squats, 5-kilometer run. Now he's bald down there. One Piece theme baby nursery. I need to get my life together. I'm jealous of a baby's room. My friend gave me an early Christmas gift. What do you think is the biggest change in Luffy since the beginning? He's stronger. Is this the biggest lie in One Piece? I no longer belong to the weak trio with you and Chopper.
What?
One Piece is ending soon. Only 5 more years, guys. Always wanted to turn Luffy's poster into a rug. How'd I do? Kinda bad. You should totally give it to me or something. How did she birth this? The wombs of One Piece are OP. One character has over 80 kids, another had kept her baby in her for 20 months, and this one popped out a whole weapon. Yeah, we need womb power scaling right now. It's funny how Sanji can actually get the ladies when not trying. The best part is him being oblivious to it, like thinking Pudding is pretending to like him even though she actually likes him. That's the most relatable thing about it, to be honest. Who is the most hated? Orochi? Charlos? Nope, it's this brat. What is this giant random egg on Roger's ship? Has Oda ever mentioned anything about it? Knowing Oda, it's either a throwaway quirk that means nothing, or it'll turn out to be the single most important piece of lore in One Piece canon. Egghead Island Luffy in pre-time skip art style. If devil fruits were named after songs. Here comes the sun. Ice, ice, baby. Smoke on the water. Enter Sandman. Diamonds. Master of puppets. Welcome to the jungle. Thunderstruck. Eat it. Walking on sunshine. Can Buggy's devil fruit be overpowered if it got its awakening? Since paramecia-type devil fruit can affect the terrain when awakened, don't you think that Buggy can chop or split anything if he awakened his devil fruit? I am completely on board with this theory. Just wait till my goat starts splitting atoms. Bro would be unstoppable. There's something I can't live without when the big battles start, and that's the online database of all the character techniques. Thanks! Usopp finally returns. He doesn't have the Going Merry. He starts spinning some BS story about how the Merry came to life and sacrificed itself. Granted, he also shows up with a cyborg, a skeleton, a talking reindeer, and a former warlord, so honestly, I don't think the Merry coming to life would be that far-fetched. Yeah, so go Gear 2. Bro, I have a Gear 5. Chopper after a bath with the girls. They look like either A, they're laughing uncontrollably at how he looks, or B, they're dying from the poison he put in the bath. Yearly reminder that he defeated 3 future Yonko in the same arc. Who taught him how to dress? 2 years on an island of women changed a broke biznatch's life. Oh my god, I know who Sogeking is. One Piece really outlived even the so-called new-gen Big 3 of Shonen Jump. Who wants to see One Piece ending? Who wants One Piece to end? I love Tony Chopper. Me too. I slept with you and washed you. Please notice me. I came back from HFIO just for you. Baka Morimo. I like Buggy. Same. Casually raised the next Pirate King. This boy is also the son of the most wanted man in the world. Raised the son of the late Pirate King Gold D. Roger. Raised a runaway prince of her country. This boy preferred to stay in her home. Slapped Monkey D. Garp and scolded him in front of Marine soldiers. Doesn't give a flap. When my therapist says feeling something bad is going to happen, it's called anxiety and not advanced observation hockey. Old versus new gen Yonkos. Funny how these things pan out. I spent 2 years in Amazon Lily and Hancock kept asking me to marry her. I spent 2 years stuck on an island with nothing but food. I wish I was flapping dead. OMG, Luffy, hi! Who else fits this meme? Almost everyone Luffy has met except Frankie and Jinbei. Those two already had the will to live. They just had to squeeze Frankie a bit to get him to come along. It ain't hockey turning these blades black. Thinking about Mihawk's toilet. No light switch, no sink, not even any toilet paper. Mihawk canonically uses the bathroom in solid darkness and just gets up and leaves. Gear 5 Luffy? Also Gear 5 Luffy. Confident? Negative. Introvert? Extrovert. Trash-hearted? Pure-hearted. If that's the case, Zoro's father must be the greatest navigator. Nami, is Zoro's dad confirmed? Studio Wit animators walking into the office one morning when their boss tells them that they have to reanimate the entirety of One Piece. The animators realizing they'll be stuck working on the same project for the next 20 years at minimum. Now that's job security. Did you know Zoro was lying on the ground after taking all of Luffy's pain, but when he heard Sanji's footsteps coming, he stood up miraculously and made a cool pose. This mofo barely had a stubble and was calling himself Blackbeard. He pre-ordered the name. I miss when Ace was a greasy rat. Rhinoplasty, lip filler, cheek implants, chin implant, jaw shave, brow bone reduction, buccal fat removal, Botox, and eye lift. How Luffy saw Ace versus how Yamato saw Ace. Bro underestimated One Piece's pace. Can't wait for their rematch in a decade. Chill, every character in Elbaf needs a flashback first. Me walking into work 15 minutes late knowing they can't fire me because I do the work of 3 people. Filthy fishman. Where are his chains, Luffy? What do you mean he's your helmsman, Luffy? You disgusting freak, that's a horse! Mermaid. Sengoku. Garp is extremely strong. Jinzhou. Garp is extremely strong. Oda. Garp is extremely strong. Garp shows an extreme feat of strength. One Piece fans. Galaxy Impact is just an Orangetown buggy level feat. Not surprising, that guy was in Gold D. Rogers' crew. It is time to go. Huh? Damn, bro left. If One Piece had mobile phones, doesn't know how to change wallpapers from default, constantly loses it, his friend secretly installed GPS tracker if he gets lost again. She would be one of those girls who keeps their selfies as wallpapers, likes talking to Suri, weather widget. Chopper and Luffy like playing with his live lock screen wallpapers, also carries Luffy's phone, keeps his gallery in private. YouTube Kids has Robin's number on speed dial, unexpectedly good at Geometry Dash. Has a tablet, spends 80% of screen time reading ebooks, likes randomly drawing doodles with stylus pen. Lets Luffy play Minecraft on his phone, likes photographing, sometimes can try to hack private Wi-Fi. Watches tech reviews on YouTube, his wallpapers remind him to restock his cola fridge, once tried to integrate his smartphone in his arm. Listening to music 24/7, has a ringtone he really likes but is self-conscious about it when his phone's ringing in public. Accidentally drowned 3 phones in a row, so now owns the cheapest model, constantly overheating it in pocket. Took a shot of Ace's bounty poster and set it as a wallpaper. 30% of his gallery are Luffy's photos. Actually has another, most likely push-button phone that can't be tapped. Owns the most die-hard mobile phone on the Grand Line, the rest wouldn't survive even a week. Inherited it from Garp when he bought a new one. Has really annoying and loud ringtone he refused to change. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho! My man Jinbei being forgotten again. We better never see One Piece live action reach Dressrosa. He has undergone 0 design changes since 1999. This is because he is without flaw. Bartolomeo carried this whole arc for real. The one who shot and killed your mother, Scarlet, was me. Hey, if you attack her verbally like that, my barrier doesn't mean anything. How did this happen? She lost the baby fat, then she went and had 85 kids. The only right answer. People are forgetting her whole pirate crew is just a single mom and her kids. I hope she'll be beautiful. What about you guys? Will Emu be the most beautiful or the most ridiculous thing when revealed? Bounty Hunter's importance in One Piece. The vast majority of pirates in the One Piece world are low levels who have low bounties. Bounty hunters focus on them. If a bounty hunter is strong enough to capture the pirates strong enough to have bounties in the millions, why even be a bounty hunter at that point? The Straw Hat Effect. How Ichiro Oda designs characters. Nitpicks I have with the big 3. No tomboys? The utter wasted potential of Chad and that he goes against all his morals and becomes a boxer. No tomboys. Everyone's forgetting about the real tomboy. Why didn't Peter use Haki? He was clearly fighting a Logia. One Piece Twitter is insane. Theory. Zoro will become the greatest swordsman, and then in order to honor Kuina, he will ask Ivankov to gender bend him. This way, he can prove that women can also be the best. I know it's a little woke, but it would be cool. He can also potentially marry Sanji. Give me your One Piece images. Most upvoted one will be my lock screen. Why is there only like one defeated pose? Do you want villains to lose in a Peter Griffin pose? So close. He does have a point. Back when Nami looks like a normal girl. Back when Nami had internal organs. Current Nami also has them, they're just in her bazungas now. I find it so flapping funny that they still call Zoro Pirate Hunter Zoro. Like, imagine if people nicknamed you for the summer job you did at 18 years old in order to make some money. Sandwich Maker Michael, or something. Daily reminder. Shanks losing his arm still doesn't make sense. Perfect match. If Brook ate another devil fruit, he'd be dead. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho-ho! If Brook didn't eat another devil fruit, he'd be dead. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho-ho! It's curious to think about One Piece timeline. Finally, after years of loneliness, I will sail with a crew again. 1 week later. Greatest lie I was ever told was that One Piece isn't good from the get-go. I turned this show on a whim, and the second I saw Luffy pop out that barrel, I knew this whimsical mofo had a plan for me. Absolute cinema. Okay, I'ma fight Trafalgar Law. Damn. Real world geopolitics? One Piece geopolitics. When you wait 52 years for your crew to come back, and only a skeleton returns back. I'm gonna send you to the island of my lifelong friend and most trusted comrade in the Revolutionary Army. There's this island with a bunch of monkeys, you'll get along well. Notice how Shanks was the only Yonko pre-time skip not to have a fisherman on his crew. Coincidence? I think not. How the flap does Hawkins have a crew? Want to join my crew as disposable meat shields that get killed every time I take a hit? Yes. Wait. No wonder he's the smartest in the family. Presenting the luckiest man in One Piece. Blackbeard if Ace hadn't stopped him going to Water 7. Blackbeard if Luffy hadn't broken into Impel Down. Blackbeard if Shanks didn't stop the war. Blackbeard if Luffy had gone northeast instead of Law. Well, the luckiest after Buggy-sama, of course. One Piece franchises. My name is Bonnie. I'm sorry, Bonnie. If I remember correctly, Oda brought this up in an SBS. Luffy made a mental note to get it right after his completely horrible comments about how cool it was that Bonnie's dad was turned into a cyborg right after she was talking about how it was the worst thing that happened to him. Dadan? Don Dadan. Would you still love me if I get paralyzed? Why do you send me this? I just want an answer. Will be worth a lot, to be honest. No money? I guess I can't help it. Thanks for the meal. This is a token of my gratitude. Keep it. Crazy that Luffy knows how to read and write. Sanji? Sanji if Oda turned on the smoking damage. Okay guys, how many of these do you have? Shut up, idiot. Impact dial. Shut up, Mosshead. Strong kick. Shut up, Bekuri. Repel. Shut up, pirate. Ryusei Kazan. Shut up, bozo. Hockey Man style. Divine departure. Shut up, mortal. Body. Shut up, rat. Black vortex. Shut up, pirate. Galaxy impact. Shut up, pirate. Impact wave. Shut up, marine. Seaquake. Shut up, Mugiwara. Thunder Bagura. Shut up, Spanda. Weapons left. Shut up, marine. Jet pistol. Keep telling yourself that, buddy. I like being a giraffe. I love giraffes. My headcanon is that Kaku had no idea what the flap a giraffe was until like 5 minutes after he ate the fruit when someone told him, and he's just really into giraffes now despite just finding out about them. Live action Chopper finally revealed. Forgiveness. Curiosity killed the cat. What's that on your wanted poster? Law. This is your spine. Kid. What the flap? Put it back. It's called Conqueror's hockey, bruh. Dude, you need to get the flap out of my house. You smell like pure, unfettered behind. Roger forgot to mention the most important detail. That BS Nika fruit you say? Go find it. You can't really do anything without that. I wasted my flapping time. What the crew saw on Laughtail was a big sign that said, "No Nika? That's too damn bad. Do it all again and come back." Listen, Shanks, buddy boyo, I am not the one to fulfill the One Piece. I am missing some goofy mythical zone fruit that is under a new name. Also, some mermaid biznatch needs to be born around the same time as the dude who will eventually be chosen by the fruit, because that fruit is a zone, and as we all know, zone fruits have a mind of their own. Anyways, that same fruit was used by none other than Joy Boy himself. I reached this island despite missing so much, it's flapping laughable. I gave Robin her tan and bangs back. Ro really said Cook instead of Sanji. This is canon material. Luffy and Zoro and Cook. Season 2 is gonna be awesome. Kiki's been working out. What the flap? It's literally Nami with different hair. OMG, peak designs! Main villain of the arc? Luffy after he became friends with the person that the villain hurt. The One Piece world if Jinbei let that rubber thug die in Marineford.
What?
Alright, Akainu, get off the ult. Dumbest One Piece image in your phone. Hand it over. Does the grass frighten you that much? When it's canon, but it's so stupid that you gaslight yourself into thinking it's not. What's the One Piece version of this? The fact that Luffy spent more time with Rayleigh than with the crew. Robin spent more time with Luffy's dad than Luffy did. As far as we know, Smoker spent more time with Luffy's dad than Luffy did. 25 years later in South Blue. Yeah, I used to be rivals with Luffy. How much would things change if this happened? Hey, Thatch, I know we have a finder's keeper's rule on this ship, but I've been looking for that fruit for my whole life. Can you let me have it? I'll give you a back massage or something. Yeah, sure. Thatch is a stand-up guy. He would absolutely do this. To answer your question, a whole lot. Ace would never go after Blackbeard, meaning he never gets captured. The War of the Best never happens, and because of this, no one dies in it. It also means Blackbeard never gets the Tremor fruit. Kaido probably goes down much easier with Ace's help. Honestly, so much changes that we need an 18-volume fanfiction to fully explore it all. Blackbeard would have still left Whitebeard pirates. He would have captured Luffy instead of Ace. Shanks and possibly Dragon dies instead of Whitebeard. Or Whitebeard, Shanks, and Dragon destroys the Marines and then they live happily ever after. Shout out to these newspaper pelicans, bro. Their purpose is to deliver the big news to whomever it is. They don't give a single flap to who you are. You a Marine? Okay, and here's the newspaper. You're a Cypherpole agent? Who asked? Here's the newspaper. You're the most wanted pirate in the world? Who flapping cares? Here's the newspaper. It makes sense now. Kitetsu blades will lead the user to their death, but with Zoro, he'll naturally go the wrong way. Zoro before and after losing his eye. This is going to be a weird comment, but why does it seem like he's in the Krusty Krab restaurant? Now I can't unsee it. He's a regular. Episode 1, Episode 1000. One Piece has surpassed Game of Thrones as the most pirated media ever. Ironic. If Luffy wanted to watch an anime, he would also have pirated it. Doubt Luffy would be able to operate a computer. Luffy would old school pirate it. He broke into a blockbuster. Why was Nami so calm here? like one bullet wouldn't kill her instantly. Nami has been in multiple near-death scenarios. She knows when it's an actual threat. Definitely. Sometimes you can just tell by looking at someone. This is one of those instances. The statements of Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, about the ending of One Piece. The whole world is turned upside down in the final arc. I'm not interested in the One Piece readers complaining because they don't like the story, but I'm sure the final arc will surprise them. In the final scenes of the story, a pirate with an eye patch will appear. The end of the story is fixed, and I have never changed it. The problems are the many things that make it difficult to capture all these final events. What motivates me to keep drawing is the last arc. This arc will make the Marineford arc seem like nothing. I have decided what the ending of One Piece will be. The One Piece treasure will not be something like friendship or determination. After all the effort and the long journey, I must give them a reward that they deserve. From Sugita, the editor of Eiichiro Oda. I know the ending of One Piece. Oda talked to me about it on the phone, and it took him 7 hours to explain everything to me. We have now reached a crucial point where the story begins to reach its main points. In the coming period, we will see the 4 emperors a lot. The most important thing about the upcoming development of the One Piece story is the past. Oh, I believe in Oda. He's gonna give us the best possible ending. Let me cook. The real One Piece was the money I made along the way. More aura than the 5 elders. I cried at this scene, not gonna lie. Jack Sparrow thought we weren't slick.
What?
First rule of One Piece: never trust silhouettes. This was originally Kaido. He's still getting milk. I have no intention of seeing Luffy. Usopp against other enemies? Usopp against Luffy. Is this legit? What do I do? Hello, this is Sanji from One Piece. Diable Jambe. Can you send me $2,000 so I can buy food for the crew? Some characters changed a lot in One Piece. Battle of Disrespects. You knock on the bathroom's door and it's occupied. Knocks back. Says, occupied. Keeps quiet. Makes a loud ahem sound. Who's louder? Says, come in. Opens the door. Which one has the most aura? Mihawk uses a butter knife against Zoro. Jinbei leaves Big Mom's crew and calls her a mere emperor. Rayleigh stops Marco with one finger. Luffy casually walks past 2 emperors. Brook calling Big Mom a young lady. Damn, he's cosplaying as Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. This is my boyfriend Kobe. And this is Kobe's boyfriend Helmeppo. Meanwhile, in an alternate universe... One Piece? One Piece if Robin used that move at every opportunity. I'm collecting as many of these as I can. Please help. We're gonna have to low diff ya, Shiki. I came here to challenge red-haired shit. You do you, bro. Stand proud, you're number 4. Stand proud, you're a father now. Vivi will meet Robin eventually. What do you think her reaction will be? I trust Luffy, and Luffy trusts you, so I forgive you. I'm not sure I fully forgive you, but I don't hate you. Flap you, I hate you, and I will never forgive you. We'll do a twerk battle covered in oil first, then I'll forgive you. What if? Zee-ha-ha-ha, Logia, Paramecia, and finally Zone. All kinds of the strongest devil fruit in my body. This man is so boss, he grew a mustache and called it a beard, and no one ever questioned him. Your attacks are too slow. You will never hit me. And all your attacks will bounce right off me. Now what? What is your most unhinged One Piece picks? Here's mine. Your Jordans are fake. He's laughing at you. Eat his fruit. Big fan, sir. I reject the official heights of both series. I'd already lost my arm before that, in the battle against the red-haired pirates. Shanks saw a fellow redhead pirate and decided to shape him to his image. Elon Musk tweets at Taylor Swift 2024. Robin is better. Nami is better. Young Big Mom. What is happening on One Piece Twitter, man? I'm all for bleaching character skins, but why is Usopp lighter than Sanji here? What? You're all for what? Twitter is a cesspool deeper than the hole where Lucia used to be. Still don't understand this. Becomes super obsessed with Odin, wants to be just like Odin in practically every regard to the point they identify as Odin, isn't a swordsman, uses fighting style of Kaido instead of Odin. No way. This just means an even bigger monster is gonna show up and eat Shanks' leg. Every other anime? Okay, we'll introduce our main villain. We need some epic music, dark surroundings, and a big character for them to easily beat. One Piece. Law plans? Gomu Gomu no! Am I crazy? Who could beat Kaido 1v1? Blackbeard, Shanks, Big Mom, none. In a 1v1, always bet on Kaido. Blackbeard. He'll cover the screen with darkness, so their fight would only happen when no one can see it. If it's off screen, always bet on Teach. New theory. Emu is a sawfish fishman. Somehow, this is better than 80% of what I've heard, and it bothers me. Inaki Godoy, known for his role as Luffy in Netflix's One Piece, faces backlash for starring in a McDonald's ad.
What?
Everyone criticizing Inaki for being in a McDonald's ad doesn't know Luffy. So Luffy. Crew members who were beaten by Luffy. Basically, all of them. In a world where high-powered devil fruits and deadly weapons exist, these four goats decided to just use their own hands and feet. How are these random fodder marines able to use haki, but half of the Straw Hats still can't? Don't sleep on random marine fodder number 2753. This would be one of the most craziest theories. So did One Piece number 1089 basically confirm Robin is Emu?
What?
Lord Buggy. Sanji fans, how do you cope knowing even the voice actor clowned on him? Hiroaki Hirata, voice actor of Sanji. There is nothing about Sanji that I admire, because he is an idiot. Maybe not bad in the sense that he is a refreshingly stupid character to watch. Goda cooks. Whoever is doing this on the official Crunchyroll YouTube channel needs a raise. Garp and Aokiji hit the Omega Dap. When you fail the test, but pass as the MVP of artistic expression. -1 because Where's Sanji is the best thing I've ever seen. Oda be like, I don't want to play with you anymore. Your friend threatens you to spoil One Piece. You are caught up with the manga. Your friend is Ichiro Oda. Look, I appreciate all your help, and I know you had a beyond flapped up childhood, but can you please stop pretending to be my dead father for 5 minutes? Don't consider yourself a One Piece fan if you don't know this guy. When the stomach ache be so painful that you gotta hit this pose. Would you rather be stuck in a forest with Zoro, stuck on an island with Yamato, or stuck in a cold desert with Robin? Island with Yamato. I just think islands are neat. I, too, think that Yamato's islands are neat. Did you see something? No, I'm blind. Me too. I don't have eyes. Yo! And then you realize these two never actually saw each other during Dressrosa. I mean, they will never see each other. My reaction after hearing that Wit is going to remake One Piece? Me realizing that it also means we won't be hearing the soundtracks or seeing the walk to the Arlong Park since it was made by Toei. Who the flap is this, bro? Meta AI, draw the One Piece crew on episode 121. Sengoku saved Akainu's life. Sengoku saved Garp's life. Either way, I win. The rage that Garp had at that moment, it would have been over for Akainu. Was shot and fatally wounded? I survived. Literally exploded? No big deal. Was caught by Poison Man? Give me a break. Over 50 plus episodes dedicated to trying to save his life? Of course Big Mom doesn't know how rubber works. She has 85 children. Foreshadowing. It said one bite of this magic gold apple will let you live 1,000 years. Sorry, I'm not interested in living 1,000 years. I'm not sorry. Alright, you guys are gonna have to hear me out on this one. What other way can Kaido be defeated without Gear 5? Let Usopp shoot a devil fruit into his mouth when he laughs. His genius will be studied for centuries to come. Oda started drawing huge bazongas and cakes the moment he realized fans would cosplay his characters. It's not fan service, it's me service. Oda drawing more revealing outfits once he realizes that his wife is a cosplayer. It's big brain time. Tie me up and do whatever you want. Aura plus 99999. Emu's biggest dilemma. Reveal my goofy face or remain a silhouette. Gecko Moria, watching One Piece fans call Mihawk Perona's father figure as if he wasn't the one who raised her since she was a kid. The entire One Piece fandom when someone says One Piece is too long, so they're not going to watch it. I don't know anything about One Piece, but I love that little nasty rat that hangs out with them and dresses like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. When you reach an area you were clearly not supposed to see yet in an open world video game. Who looks best in their female version? Breaking news. Jake Paul has challenged Garp, age 78, to a boxing match after beating Mike Tyson. Why didn't Kobe use Honesty Impact here? Is he stupid? The JJK brain rot got me, and the moment I saw this scene, I thought, throughout paradise and the new world, I alone am the goofy one. Proof that Oda is a genius. Sanji? My hands are only for cooking. Also Sanji. When I am in a beat up the elderly contest and I see these two. Is there any lore explanation to why Kaido didn't do any of this? Wants to die, doesn't go fight any top tiers, doesn't jump into water, doesn't eat a second devil fruit, instead jumps off from high up and acts as if he's too strong. Wants a great fight, doesn't go fight any top tier, scared of Big Mom coming to Wano, hides in Wano from Marines, hides from Odin for 5 years, doesn't free Odin and let him fight again. Acts honorable, sucker punch Odin with Hag's help, doesn't let Odin free to fight again, kills Odin while he's in shackles in boiling oil for 1 hour. The difference between a fraud and the real deal. Emu after Sabo heard his whole conversation with Cobra. Where did you come from? And no, the second the Straw Hats entered Skypiea. There is intruders. Which one is stronger? Yasop, best feat, destroying a retreating ship, or Park Bench, best feat, actually being able to support a family of 3. I'm not ready for the One Piece. Let's claim the One Piece back. You cannot fool me. Wano will be Zoro's arc. Chopper will cure the Smile victims. Frankie will get upgraded on Egghead. Elbaf will be Usopp's arc. Bro, what happened to his muscles? Did he lose his gains from the time skip training? Kizaru gave Luffy food, confirmed. In Chapter 1103, Luffy was so hungry and cannot move, but in Chapter 1106, he became full. Who was it that gave Luffy food? In Chapter 1103, Luffy started to wolf down food. When Luffy said, "Food!" who was it that responded? Was it Sanji or Frankie? Who was present near him? Kizaru and Sentomaru was also there. Whoever did it never got exposed, it seems. That action seemed to be done in the speed of light, that even the naked eye can't see it. Even I don't know who did it. The speed of light. How Usopp feels on Elbaf when he is surrounded by giant Viking baddies that want him, but he has to commit to the white girl he made a promise to 1,000 chapters ago. You are a frightening man. However, I am the best swordsman in CP9. Don't take me lightly.
What?
I am the best swordsman in CP9, said the only swordsman in CP9. Is Dragon genuinely the longest an anime powerhouse has been shown without doing a single thing? It's been 25 years since Dragon was introduced as a hype beast when One Piece was on a much smaller scale. I know Dragon slander is commonplace, but this goes beyond just calling him a bum. It's crazy to see him actually do nothing in the span of over 1,000 chapters. I genuinely can't even think of a good analogy in another anime for what he's gone through, because literally no top tier, regardless of whether you think he's strong or just has influence, has been treated like this, ever. If there's a character Oda genuinely has to hate more than Usopp, it's Dragon. So much so that he gives anything Dragon might do to further the cause to Sabo, Ivankov, even Morley. Is there some popular character I'm forgetting, or when this is all over, will Dragon go down in history as the most overhyped heavy hitter in anime? Zoro has a sword. Wano is about samurai and swords, so Oda has something in store for Zoro and Wano. No, he doesn't. Frankie has made his body using VP technology. Egghead is about VP technology, so Oda has something in store for Frankie and Egghead. No, he doesn't. Usopp wants to be a brave man of the sea like the giants of Elbaf. Elbaf has the giants of Elbaf, so Oda has something in store for Usopp in Elbaf. Why do people think Usopp will be developed in Elbaf? Some people never learn, I guess. Who said that trash? Because I didn't. Elbaf will be all about Nika, the Giants, Shanks. Then Dragon will come to Elbaf, meet Luffy, and beat some sense into him. Shanks and Blackbeard stuff. And as for who? Ah yes, Usopp. I will have him killed by the hands of Wan Wuger. This bum just sat back and watched his best friend's son get executed on a 4K livestream. Rare Goda W for giving Nami internal organs. These stairs are so long, Kuina would have straight up died like 16 times by now. I have a theory that Sandman is actually Oda's wife, and she's bitter that he keeps ignoring her to write One Piece. When Oda married in 2004, he made a promise with his wife that they will go on a round-the-world trip after One Piece ends, saying he would finish it in 10 years. Oda has had diabetes, gout, and high blood pressure for years. He reports his blood pressure to his doctor daily, and the doctor warns him that the numbers are too high. However, Oda insists that the ideal value of blood pressure is different for everyone, so it is not a problem. Bro, do you live in his house? Nah, I just live very near his house. By the way, I remember Oda had 2 PlayStation 4s in his living room years ago. After that and this one, I'm pretty sure he either 1. Stalks Oda, or 2. Is Oda. Oda does not eat for several days while he is working on manga to avoid getting sleepy, but when he finishes it, he eats a lot at once. Oda goes to bed at 9 AM and wakes up at 12 PM, 3 hours sleep. He often walks in a large neighborhood park for half an hour. Sandman is getting more and more terrifying. Due to Oda's breaks, the release of a new One Piece chapter will be delayed until December 1st. I am concerned that Oda's Japanese handwriting these days is becoming much rougher than before. If he is too busy, it is good that he is taking breaks for his health. Y'all don't understand who Sandman is. This copy with Oda's handwriting is not available to anyone not working for Shueisha. This dude is a real deal. Just today, we got a confirmation that he's been living in Oda's walls for over 20 years. This pic shows Oda in 2003 when he was drawing Skypiea arc. He drew it with a DVD of Castle in the Sky by Hayao Miyazaki in his studio. We were robbed. Friendly reminder that no matter how much you hype him up, and no matter what you want to happen, this is the face of a future Usopp victim. Imagine being one of these two and have to hear all day some stupid woman claiming to be your dead father every 2 seconds. 40 seconds of spinning for one attack? Wit, please save us. It's like Dressrosa characters take the Dressrosa pacing with them everywhere. I was a Punani and had no courage to fight Blackbeard, but I'll try my hardest to stop my friend who saved my life from achieving his dream. I fear this trash is closer to becoming canon than previously thought. This might be the craziest One Piece tuber thumbnail yet. What if Luffy killed the Straw Hat Pirates?
What?
My mom asked me if I did the dishes. I yelled, "Admirals!" She smiled. She knew they were washed. Brilliant character development. Buster Call at O'Hara. Buster Call at Enies Lobby. Buster Call at Egghead. An ancient text from the lost century I came across today. Oda has been churning out new chapters since 1999. That's almost 8 years, and still the Straw Hats are only halfway through the Grand Line. Oda, enough is enough. You have been adding too many characters to the crew. 5 was enough. You have been constantly repeating yourself ever since the end of Alabasta. And this lobby arc was just Arlong Park arc, without the feelings, plus being dragged out. It seems that this once great manga has turned into another action anime for the sake of action. There is no plot to One Piece anymore. All they do is fight, travel, fight, etc., etc. Not a single word has been said about One Piece since the East Blue Saga. It doesn't seem the crew is even trying to find One Piece, and really, if you really need more than 10 years to tell your story, then it's probably not a good story at all. I hereby announce that I, from today, no longer will be reading One Piece anymore. Luffy, after some random crippled civilian in a wheelchair, says Shanks doesn't solo the entire verse. Sokka is Usopp with peak writing. I'm just gonna leave it here. Guys, when you tell him you like Death Note and not the anime where a homeless boy sails the 7 seas to discover the power of friendship for 1,000 episodes. Too serious. I'm sick of this. Can't you take anything seriously? Too serious! Source, Neo Uma. Reminded me of this scene. The crocodile is wearing clothes and a hat, and he talked. If that surprises you, take a look at us. Must be the ancient giant genes. Everyone loves One Piece. Anime? I've never really been interested in cartoons, Franklin. Besides, I'm working. Why not ask Johnny? Well, I just wanted to show you because the hero has stretchy powers like you, and he's really cool like you. 2 weeks later. Hey, Sue, have you seen Reed by chance? Oh, he's watching TV with Franklin. Reed's watching TV? Should we be worried? Also, you're baking cookies? Source: my headcanon as to why Reed might have taken some inspiration from Luffy's moves in the game. Doom: Reed Richards, you're only at Enies Lobby? Doom is already at Elbaf. On this day, nothing happened. I love how people get these confused. I love Tony Chopper. Me too. Yeah, I love Chopper. Bro. To haters who think I'm single. Bro, you forgot to edit the shadow. Truly disappointing. Seeing Oda announce he doesn't want Luffy to defeat Kaido with a big punch. Seeing Kaido's defeat. Every Luffy fight ever. It wasn't a big punch, it was a gigantic punch. Humongous even. Making Kaido look like a worm. So, how flapping crazy was the golden age of piracy if Kaido saw that and thought, I can face tank it? Still don't know if Oda was being purposefully cheeky or if he just forgot he said that before. Lego One Piece. Lego One Piece sets are coming soon. Why would anyone buy a Lego set with only a single piece? Bruh. These stairs are so long, Kuina would have straight up died like 16 times by now. Wanted to join this art trend. This is serious, guys. Can you just be serious for once? Too serious. I'll just leave this here. Croco Boy? This is the longest 2 hours of my life. Just wait until childbirth, sister. What? What? I just realized this theory would imply Robin spent years being close to both of Luffy's parents in their respective organizations. Bro. Don't know why, but tears keep filling my eyes. Thank you for making me this cool. Shut up and just fight. Mind your business. Nothing to see here. Usopp, go back to sleep. Zoro versus Kaku at Eni's lobby. I'm gonna kill you now. 9-sword style, Ashura. I prefer Luffy's adaptation. Live action, anime, manga, Luffy. Luffy versus Kaido fight in a nutshell. Not to worry, I have a permit. This just says I can do what I want. Matt Owens strikes again. Igaram will be played by Yonda Thomas in the One Piece live action. Never beating the allegations. He better have the same powder wig looking hair and also play his wife. Based Marimo. No, how dare you refuse the invitation to join Baroque? I work alone. Flap off. I am alone and have a single rowing boat. Join me. Of course, Captain. Glory be to the Straw Hat Pirates. If they ended up with the other fruit, who ends up at the bath fight? Those are some of the most cursed images I've ever seen. For real, I was like, I wish I had blinded myself. After seeing both of those images, this better not awaken anything in me. What a name. Best name for an island in One Piece so far. Some island where you can get eggs. Drop your cursed One Piece images. I need them. Buggy Ball. Gonna prank my dad when he comes home. Not sure if Frankie or Johnny Bravo. If you think about it, it doesn't really make sense. Does he bite? No, but he can hurt you in other ways. Enel got what he wanted and has no reason to return to the One Piece planet. Bruh. An adult man in JJK? A baby in One Piece. Punk Hazard is real. Half of the country is on fire and the other half is covered in ice. God is speaking to us. How do you want the series to end? Pirate King Luffy and Fleet Admiral Kobe sitting down and having a good meal, showcasing how even opponents can be friends and how Kobe was Luffy's first friend while he was a pirate, despite the conflicting paths they both took. In the manga, half his face blown off. Every masterpiece has its cheap copy. Monster versus monster. And his lobby was peak Chopper. It was really unexpected and just perfect at the same time. Well, I would be damned. Zoro carrying the original size of Enma. I think it would have been cool if Zoro got a big sword. However, he wouldn't be able to use his usual 3-sword style attacks. We'll get there soon, guys. Live action actors in Wano. Firstly, why is Zoro's beard not green? This is what I expect some of the viewers, not the characters, to look like when we reach the Wano arc. Stop Fantasizing by Huan Dere. Pass the salt, please. Can I borrow a fork? Dude, you gotta stop fantasizing. Kaku got more votes on the third poll. Reminder that Frankie is the only Straw Hat to never be in the top 10 of a popularity poll. People just can't comprehend the super personality of Frankie. Who made this? 72 years terminally ill, stabbed 267 times, 152 bullet wounds, 46 cannonballs, 3 magma punches, 1 in the brain, 1 in the chest, 1 in the gut. His back didn't touch the ground even in death. 78 years old, no diseases, stabbed 2 times, 1 ice glove to the face, lay down twice. Are people trying to downplay Garp by saying that Whitebeard is him? Because we knew that already. Whitebeard is a tank, Not saying Whitebeard isn't capable of dealing massive damage. Garp ain't a tank, he's a damage dealer. When a tank and a damage dealer fight, it's oftentimes pretty close. But against multiple strong enemies, the damage dealer will fall way before the tank. By the way, this is a massive oversimplification for those that aren't aware. Too small. I never thought of that before. Guys, I have a plan to escape the deadliest prison in the world. We need to go through the exit. This guy's a flapping genius! The fact that his bounty keeps increasing every 2 to 4 weeks in universe is crazy. Luffy bounty increases. That one Marine officer who just finished putting up his previous wanted posters around the island. It feels crazy that he probably beat all the big names in the East Blue in like a week. The East Blue, which was already the weakest ocean, lost all their strong pirates in a week, and the dude who did it was just some skinny 17-year-old in jorts. Fair trade? Trade offer. I receive bowl of rice, you receive Kaido's head, a free country, and everything you could ever eat. We have to accept the truth. Does he bite? No, but he can hurt you in other ways. Laugh Tale arc might be the shortest arc. Accurate AF. Frankie is a better doctor than Chopper. Frankie performed cyborg surgery on himself with scrap metal while his whole body was broken. Chopper couldn't heal the smile users despite devil fruits altering being his specialty. Where did it go? Try this one. Do you have any powers? No. Where did I leave that devil fruit? Why didn't Kid do this while fighting Shanks? Is he a dummy? He has returned. I miss you, babe. I miss you, babe. Babe, what's wrong? I miss you so much. We have to accept the truth, Nakamas. Does he bite? No, but he can hurt you in other ways. Because of his connection with the movies, Shiki will never show up in the current manga. The rivalry we didn't know we wanted. We go by arcs here, ma'am/sir. When somebody asks what season are you on in One Piece? Me. We don't do that here. Or Pineapple Head. Hi, my name is Marco. Ah, nice to meet you, Marco. Hey Pineapple Head, do you know where the One Piece is? Luffy almost died too many times. Hey little man, how's it going? Jesus Christ. I don't get it. Lucci has seen the Gear 5 wanted poster and clearly says he wants to see Luffy's new form. The community. Bro thought he's gonna fight Gear 2. He is not a cute and goofy mofo. Stop glazing him. Literally one of the most evil mofos in the show. This is morally gray, actually. The price of freedom. I receive meat, you receive freedom in your country. LMAO, Trafalgar Law. Alright boys, let's have a nice, clean execution. Whitebeard, Luffy, Crocodile, Jinbei, Eva, Buggy, Blackbeard, Shanks. Not only does his neck broaden over time, but his cape collar gets larger and more pointy as well. Shanks when he gets the laugh tail. No love. I love One Piece. I hate Usopp. They must be consuming an entirely different story in their minds. Lady had the best life, nothing but eating and sleeping, but decided, nah, screw that Garfield trash. I want to be a celestial dragon and walk around like an evil Buzz Lightyear. She's a personification of greed. Nothing was ever going to be enough to satisfy her. I thought Luffy was bad, but this is a new type of stupidity. Want to join my crew as disposable meat shields that get killed every time I take a hit? Yes. Zoro. Show me the best frame you got. I'll go first. Who do you think could be the new Whitebeard? Or will there never be anyone like him? The new Joy Boy? The new Garp? The new Zebek? The new Whitebeard? Protects his family, fights with a polearm and his fists, insane mastery of his devil fruit, all types of hockey, has mutual respect with the new Roger, most likely will take over a Yonko territory. I mean, now that Big Mom is out of commission, it's gotta be him. Pero Spero doesn't have the shoulder to rule. Is a Chad. Luffy and Reed. Hello, Luffy from One Piece. Hello, Mr. Fantastic from Marvel Rivals. Two of the strongest swordsmen. Queens respect queens. A real Nami fan never speaks ill of Robin or Hancock. Binge watch 25 episodes of Marineford arc. I miss watching 20 episodes of One Piece a day. It's funny, it's true. Usopp lying for the 1000th time? Chopper. What if? Operation Take Down Blackbeard's Pirates. Clearly, the Warden has never watched anime. It troubles me that you seem to be able to violate the law of physics. Nico Robin reunites with her family. Mom, Professor Clover, Saul, and Jabra. It's good to see you, Robin. Marco's fruit healing anything except his eyesight. Man, my Phoenix fruit is awesome. It cures everything bad that happens in my body. Except these flapping eyes. Can we get much higher? Girls after 3 rounds? Boys after 3 rounds? Whitebeard after 3 rounds of artillery fire to the chest. Why does Nami have infinity stones on her hand? Out here living my best life. Luffy is drowning. This ain't about him. Which one is more cursed? Buff Yamato or Thin Queen? Buff Yamato is just lore accurate. Yup, just ask Ace. What would Nami do if Luffy found a treasure and kept it to himself? Bro, this was from an H-anime animation. Marco, according to Luffy. Thoughts? Don't mess with us One Piece fans. We can't even remember some parts because it's too long. Art, cute edition. Rock, paper, a real man shows rock, you know. Scissors. You dirty noble spoonbait. Sabo was a girl? Happy birthday, Marco. Yoy! Can I fly? Yes, you can. I can fly! Yoy! What a beautiful sunshine and the wide open sea. Where is the Moby Cucumber? Impel Down arc in one picture. My mind is cooked. Yamato Nagant. Made a One Piece version of a meme I saw. H-anime on my discrimination app again? Huh? Discrimination on my H-anime app? Chopper. Chopper Monster Point pre-time skip. Chopper Monster Point post-time skip. Guy saves her entire kingdom, and she can't even pronounce his name right. Shake my head. Lucy. My name is Luffy. Lucy! Could Kuma push out all the horn dog in Sanji into a bubble? The bubble. I love their wholesome relationship dynamic. What was going through Sanji's mind? Calm down. Elbaf will be Usopp's arc bro. Trust me, it's been teased since Little Garden. It's time for some uncomfortable conversations. Same thing with people saying Egghead was gonna be Frankie's arc. One Piece radicalized me, not gonna lie. Oh, a cute shonen about pirates and friendship. One Piece is an allegory reflective of the modern-day society we live in. It is a show about class wars, discrimination, systems of power, oppression, overthrowing a corrupt totalitarian government disguised as a democracy, and the quest for liberation. In the framework of Foucault's epistemological, constructivist, and historicist theories, the world government and navy control the narrative in which the celestial dragons have maintained their power and reign over the world for centuries, and have suppressed academics and historians through extremist, totalitarian measures in order to reinforce their power. Those who seek the truth are persecuted through any means necessary as they pose a threat to the status quo. The protagonists appeal to viewers through their idealistic views of liberation and equity exemplified through simple, relatable mediums such as friendship and dreams and OMG, Trafalgar Law! She's also going to have to wear the post-time skip Nami outfit for half of the series. Emily Rudd realizing she has to film the Absalom scene. I would bet all of the money I have they will never make that scene, and I am absolutely okay with that. Well, flap. One Piece animator leaves industry to create H-anime. Backshots with impact frames. Notice how Chopper said people, not women. Sanji, honey. Where's the book of fish? Sheesh, everything on Sanji's bookshelf is full of people in their birthday suits. Fictional idols. I've learned so much from the people who never existed. Kuma was such a troll for doing that to Sanji. If you were to go on a vacation, where would you like to go? Of course, Amazon Lily. Okay, I'll send you there. Chill the flap out with the aura. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho-ho! Okay, Zoro slept with a princess, but Brook is on another level. Mihawk's legendary battles were not against Shanks. It was against... I really do. I just love that the character with an egg for a theme announces his attack as Legs Benedict. Curious, which fact/foreshadowing about the series is basically this image in a nutshell? Oda, who had never thought of any of that. The Oda already planned for Sanji to have siblings because of his name. I'm 100% his name was a last day idea he had because Oda wanted to call him Naruto. And he would hate him. Sometimes I think about that girl who found out her BF was cheating, so she told him, Luffy would hate you, and he started crying. Classic tale. My 29 female boyfriend, 29 male, keeps getting into fights with a cook at Waffle House. This is the crazy part. My BF keeps going back and ordering eggs and getting into fistfights with the same cook. It's almost a ritual at this point. My boyfriend orders runny eggs, the cook serves him some other version of eggs, and then they beat the flap out of each other. I quit going with him after the second fight, but he keeps going by himself. They're like Peter and the giant chicken from Family Guy. It's the weirdest thing. They physically fought like 6 or 7 times over this. I've tried to talk to him about it a few times, but he keeps saying it's a matter of principle. I've told him to talk to the manager or something like that, but he just waves me off. Apparently, that cook hasn't yet made him the correct runny eggs, but it's like he spends the week learning new ways of preparing eggs to piss my boyfriend off. Actually, that's a sign of Alzheimer's. What if deja vu is just an untrained advanced observation hockey? Skipper. Me? Do you watch One Piece? Her? OMG, yes, I'm a big fan. Great. But I skipped Skypiea arc. Many tried, but didn't succeed. Bon Clay is more of a Chad than Buggy. Changed my mind. Yup. What I look like versus what I'm thinking about. Who is the weakest of them? Hype dictates that Aramaki is the weakest. Green Bull. My only evidence for this is I dislike him and Shanks clowned on him with the Wi-Fi hockey. The ones that aren't fast enough and can't also freeze their opponents. Cannibalism in One Piece. Zeph eating his leg. Hachan eating takoyaki. Big Mom eating kids. Carrot eating carrot. Oden eating Oden, Marco eating pineapple. What does a leg taste like? How can Marco eat a pineapple with its skin? Why doesn't Carrot have bunny teeth? Should Yamato have been jacked like Oden, or the design is already perfect? What Yamato looks like versus what Yamato thinks Yamato looks like. The most slept on character in the verse. Miss Gold-D and Week. Might have overdone it a bit. The Straw Hats if Miss Golden Week actually took her job seriously. I got your premium rice cakes. Do you have the Ekok Black we talked about? He knows how to make an entrance. Jinbei to Big Mom just as the fight is about to heat up. I fear no man. Luffy stopping to watch and forgetting about the portrait. Brook. Fine, I'll do it myself. If power in One Piece was estimated by how good someone's beard/mustache is, who would be the strongest? Over 9,000. Unsolved mysteries of One Piece. Laugh-Tale? Giant Straw Hat? Monkey D. Dragon's Devil Fruit? Who is Sogeking? Dragon Slayer. This is how propaganda works in One Piece world. The real villains, the real heroes. When your favorite character predicts the future of cryptocurrency, Nami was ahead of the game. Fact, Nami's money eyes are a B instead of the traditional $sign. This is because Oda was actually foreshadowing the success and rise of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency. Real men cry. Arnold Schwarzenegger is my fan casting for Whitebeard, so I made him look the part. Not disappointed. Poor Nami, art by Shampawardo. 9 months in my womb making me suffer. And he looks like his stupid dad. Whose cucumber was bigger in this scene? Whitebeard's cucumber is bigger than Shanks' whole body. As One Piece fans enjoying Oda's world, we can all relate to Dofi in this moment. I never get bored with this world. It's getting interesting. Even in her 40s, Nami is still Nami. Art by Aosora 5088. The strongest. Which One Piece character is this? That one's my favorite. Bartolomeo. It's always that one person in every sleepover. Is sand called sand because it's between sea and land? For the last time, go to bed, Luffy! Pick one. An amazing One Piece movie? An amazing One Piece game. Remember, the Dressrosa arc took less than a day from the point the Straw Hats arrived to Doflamingo's defeat. Until we meet again. Who are the most One Piece coded characters that isn't from One Piece? What is something you don't like about One Piece? This cherry pie is to die for! This cherry pie is so gross I thought I'd die! Huh? I hate how we never got Inventor Usopp again. Like, what did he do after the New World? Show off the Pop Greens? The Kuro Kabuto? The, Tabasco Star again? Made a new staff for Nami with Frankie that can extend? That's it? Nami learned ninjutsu when it's Usopp that could have used it better. Boa would die for that. Luffy has no idea that some women love this particular gum-gum technique. Art, but no Zoro. When the crew hears about the ghost ship, but some of them are just too chill to care. Ghost ship? Like I give a flap. He's been doing this for 20 years now. End One Piece or draw 2. If Ace and Yamato ended up together. I was confused at first. At first, I thought it was fish with clothes. Sanji's family be like. Toei Animation creating an epic magical girl sequence for characters you don't give a flap about. And Reiju. I came to end this war. I came to end this war. Ignore him. Just continue the war. 5 minutes later. I'm returning your hat, as promised. Does Law count as a Disney princess? Magic hands? Do animals talk to you? Were you poisoned? Kidnapped or enslaved? Do people assume all your problems got solved because of a big strong man showed up? You are a princess. Okay, what? Are the artists related or something? Baseball with Yamato or go to lunch with Luffy? Zeus. Bro. Do not cry. It's just a nose. Which One Piece character do you share a birthday with? Mine is Miss Monday. So guys, since I know that everyone just loves this ship so much and has no hate or disdain to it, like at all, I thought why not share this comic I found to see the wonderful responses you will give to it. Art by Shempowardo. Mama! It's alright, honey. Mommy will give you the gift that you want. But Daddy said I can only have it when I'm a bit older. Did he? What gift did you ask Daddy? A baby brother. Then Mommy will do her best to give Bubba anything she wants. If you were to convince someone to watch or read One Piece by showing them a scene or panel, what would it be? He just keeps getting shot over and over. Oh my god, they killed Peckhams, you spoonbait! I don't know if I'm in the minority, but this is one of my favorite bits in the whole series. Hey Luffy, is this woodpile good enough? It's a combination of the complete nonchalance, Sanji and Zoro not only working together, but proud of their work, and the timing or something. It just kills me. Also, Sanji's facial expression. Oda's foreshadowing. Lego One Piece sets coming later this year. Picture of all One Piece characters, face only. Does this prove Oda has the same face syndrome? Credit at Nero Narin on Twitter. The first image is all girls. The second one is all men. The third one is also all girls. One Piece short story. Nin Nin. Being a ninja is great, Nin Nin. This is delicious. None of us have ever said Nin Nin before. Still remember how these two dorks of authors going home from work party giggling, laughing, and so happy because they met Akira Toriyama at the party and he called them friends. Peak cinema. This scene's overtaking you in any version. Ed, Ed, and Eddie, X One Piece, Wave 1, art by me. I'm gonna be Hokage! Oh lord, I'm in shambles. Got something to say, punk? Have you ever faced the almighty 3-sword slashing? Mom said I get all the berries. Zappity zap zap! How do we get a good One Piece game? One Piece franchises? I was so excited for Odyssey because I thought a party-based One Piece RPG could have been so amazing, but it just fell really flat for me personally. It was too easy and just felt clunky. One Piece live action season 2 has officially wrapped filming. First look at the Straw Hats. Zoro wearing the same outfit even after everyone else changed clothes. Main character vibes. He's been a pirate for 30 years, took him 12 years to finish his journey, restarted it, and became king of the pirates 14 years after that. He's been at sea for around 50 years, been a pirate for at least 45 years, and started his own crew 33 years ago. He had an absurd amount of strength since he was a kid. Started building her own empire 63 years ago, and has been a pirate for around 33 years. She was born a natural disaster. He's been a pirate for almost 40 years, captain of his own crew for 24 years, became an emperor after a journey of 18 years. And then there is Luffy. Been sailing for around 6 months, stopped sailing for 2 years, came back and became a Yonko in 2 weeks. Don't forget Ace, who started his journey at 17 and within 2 years beat multiple warlords, turned down a warlord position, and became a top commander in an emperor's crew. Garp. And people say child abuse never helped anybody. New official Wano art. The difference is crazy. Left side kinda looks like she is tired to be alive. Do you agree? Unpopular opinion. Roger's time skip design was way cooler. I see it more as, the left is how he was depicted and perceived by the media and people who didn't know him, versus the right is how he actually was. One Piece fans right now. I wonder how many times the word mural has been said in the past 24 hours. The power of milk. Law and Luffy are so cute. What does Straw Guy say when he sees people kissing? Get a room. Am I the only one who didn't know this? What is Usopp in Japanese translated to English? Liar. It's a contraction between Uso, to tell a lie, and Aesop, as in the dude who wrote the fable The Boy Who Cried Wolf, which is how we are introduced to him. She's freaking huge! One Piece is always weird with its pseudo-giants. Like, we have humans, we have giants, and then randomly we got random 10-foot tall dudes and dudettes, followed by some rando 20-ish footer who is legally still human. Bunny D. Luffy. Tattoo. In 1,000 years, the people of the future will believe that she was a goddess of these times, and they wouldn't be wrong. Yeah, this is the moment that solidified Luffy being an emperor for me. I was a little worried that I could never see Luffy as a Yonko, cause he doesn't really have the intimidation factor that Kaido and Big Mom have. But if I were in Rob Lucci's shoes, I would 100% spoon myself if I saw this. Especially if right before this, my opponent started beating his chest, saying, "I feel it," then exploded. Luffy and Mr. 3. One Piece Season 2 new cast announced. Rigo Sanchez as Dragon, Yonda Thomas as Igaram, James Hiroyuki Lau as Ippon-matsu. So, we are getting that legendary Zoro scene with the Sandai Kitetsu. Nice. Why was Brook about to hit Zoro when he was hurt? Is he stupid? That's Brook's brother, Shambrook. How boss would an armament hockey Frankie be? Such a missed opportunity for Frankie not to grab some sea stone in Wano and make brass knuckles out of it. Then he wouldn't need hockey to fight Lokia users. Could Magellan be Admiral level if he tried? If Magellan trained with his fruit and learned hockey and stopped eating poison, do you think he could be Admiral level? Once he figures out how to get the diarrhea under control, it's game over. Magellan was a beast for this. Hi, my name is Magellan, and I'm the only character that can say I almost killed the two most important characters. If it wasn't for Ivankov and Shiryu, both would have died. And I know in the current time of the manga, both could take him or at least fight him better, but in that time in Impel Down Arc, Magellan was truly a menace with his poison. I would like to know your opinion. I really like Magellan as a character and Devil Fruit user. What do you think about this? I love when this happens. I drew Robin in one of her scrap concept art designs. how Lego Zoro would work. Funny how the weakest sea has the top tiers. In my opinion, East Blue was the weakest sea because Garp just flapped up the majority of new pirate crews, just in case. Favorite One Piece man? Let's be honest, we all know it's this teddy bear king. Look, all I'm saying is that respectfully, we need to stop glazing Senor Pink so much and start giving all that love and attention to beige. Dude's the definition of a family man and Chad. Bro loves his wife and son and would do anything to protect him. Never realized how bad Luffy's been through it until I caught up to One Piece. Shiryu is Blackbeard's first commander? Are you telling me that Shiryu and not Jesus Burgess is the first commander? Like how? He was the sixth one to be recruited. Does this confirm that Shiryu is the second strongest among Blackbeard's crew? Oda confirmed that he didn't just pick the number 2s on the color spread based on rank. He alludes to the fact that he selected some of them based on the fighting power rather than rank. That cover, huh? Similar to Zoro, not all of those characters have the title of first mate. I selected the number 2s as I saw fit. Usually, Shachi and Penguin are more dependable, but those two, who have seen Beppo's Sulong form, are no match for Beppo in terms of fighting power. I acknowledge him. Zoro backshot by me. For the love of God phrasing. New Nami cosplay just dropped. Anyone else thought Ace falling randomly asleep would become a running gag? But it did. We see during other moments in the show that Ace, Luffy, and Garp do this a lot. It must be a family trait. Finally completed this insane Luffy mosaic puzzle. Was really fun seeing a lot of random scenes from the past while putting this together. This took about 6 months working off and on. If Straw Hats were bounty hunters and got rewards for defeating their enemies. If 2 Straw Hat members win together, reward is divided equally. Luffy, 7,745,100,000 berries. Zoro, 1.584 billion berries. Sanji, 1.361 billion berries. Frankie, 550 million berries. Nami, 238,750,000 berries. Usopp, 219,100,000 berries. Chopper, 8.6 million berries. Jinbei, 546 million berries. Robin, 480 million berries. Brook, 0. Brook didn't beat anyone with the bounty. Zoro jumping from 99 million with Pika to 1.39 billion with King is crazy. Live Action Season 2 randomly dropped the best casting? The similarities, the monkey family looks best. Weird/cool how Garp and Luffy don't really look alike, but Dragon somehow looks like a mix of the two. Crazy good casting again. Maybe I shouldn't ask, but is there a reason why Smoker is the only one with a brain who uses Sea Stone as a weapon? There are several, in fact, mostly nets and bullets. What are some only One Piece can make this normal moments? One Piece is the only anime to make dressing up as a pigeon with your pet pigeon normal. Luffy fighting a man made of mochi who can see the future in the mirror world. Hallowed be thy name. One Piece characters that everyone likes. I'll start. Bon Clay is simply impossible to hate him, and if someone hates him, I have serious suspicions about his character. Bon Clay is simply incredible, and if it weren't for him, Luffy would have died in Impel Down. To this day, I'm in doubt whether he died or not after Impel Down. I didn't hear talk more about him, but he's incredible. He didn't abandon Luffy until the last moments. I wanted to be his friend. I love you, Bon Clay. Today, I found Math no Mi. I am pissed about this. Chopper only used this form once, and I'm mad that he didn't use it more. The stuff that he could have done. Oda didn't want to end Wano too fast. Lie turns into reality on Usopp's shorts? I just found this on a random poster in my room. I've heard of the theory that every lie Usopp says turns true, but I've never heard anyone talking about this poster. Blackbeard and Shanks tattoo. Are you telling me Enuru isn't an awakened Logia? Also, Luffy stealing his stance for Bounce Man is kinda funny. Logia users can change their shape. This is Enel changing his shape. Caesar, Aramaki, and Monet can all do the same thing. The real reason why Luffy was able to jump back into Gear 5 in Wano, but in Egghead he needed food to refuel first. Kyoga 101 crafted this theory, and I found it too good not to share over here. My theory, Crazy Break Month theory, is that Luffy used people's laughter, celebration, and wishes for fuel down in the festival. Mostly because it can be taken as a form of prayer/ritual that could be utilized by Luffy. This is because his fruit's name is the Sun God, and until now, we haven't seen why it's a god and not a warrior or something else. To sum it up, the more people laugh, do the drumbeat, wish for their own happiness, the longer he can fight. That may even be why they tried to snuff out everything about the Void Century and Nika, because belief is power for him. This is one of the greatest theories I have ever read. He cooked the meal of a lifetime. Ace and Whitebeard's grave. Has anyone seen it recently in Japan? This image is from Universal Studios, but I'm wondering if it's still there. Brook Snowman. Genuine question. If Robin was such a dangerous person to the world government, why didn't they just send someone from like CP0 or something to capture her? Because they didn't know where she was for most of her life. As a child, she was running/hiding. Then she stayed hidden under Croc and went on the constant move again. Any interaction with Marines or Cypherpole were mostly coincidental when they crossed paths. Oda on the upcoming LEGO sets. LEGO sets are coming! Even now, I have dozens of LEGO boxes piled up at my workplace that I haven't even had time to dig into. There's no cooler toy out there. For 25 years since the anime started, I've been asking for a LEGO toy. And finally, my dream is being fulfilled with a live-action collection. Thank you to the LEGO group. Woohoo! You can bet I'll be building and displaying them. Killing and selling his own kind. Octopus Hachan selling octopus fritters does seem a bit ironic, doesn't it? It's like chicken running a fried chicken stand, but hey, it's anime, anything can happen. Fishmen based on octopus and actual octopus are separate species in the One Piece universe. Also, see minks eat meat. What is the coolest weapon in One Piece in your opinion? I think Sogeking is Usopp's mom. This makes tons of sense, because in Thriller Bark, Sogeking saves Usopp because Sogeking is Usopp's mom, and in Enies Lobby, Sogeking helped out her son's crew. I could believe this if not for one problem. Sogeking is from Sniper Island, Bon China is not. I turned Luffy into the Chopper crying meme. Do you think current Zoro can beat Mihawk, but Mihawk can only use the little sword he wielded during the Butter Tea arc? With only the butter knife, I think Mihawk would lose. That being said, we're really not sure what he can do. Is Magellan actually powerful in the grand scheme of things? They've shown that poison can only be cured with an antidote. No amount of hockey will save you from his poison unless you have the antidote or hormone injections. He's no doubt one of the strongest. The reflection of Kuzan's sunglasses depict Garp in his prime during their battle. Kinda proud of my little discovery. Please don't tell me that's common knowledge. My favorite panel from Marineford. But though you may be a fool, I still love you. I feel like so many things happened on Marineford that the relationship between Whitebeard and Squard is often overlooked. A father that forgives his son despite the latter's foolishness. I feel like a lot, or at least a decent amount of people, loved Ace's panels so much that they always bring it up when discussing about favorite scenes or panels, but in my opinion, this one is just as impactful. Whenever the topic comes up, I always say to my friends that this panel is a very great depiction of how a father's love should be like. Speaking from personal experience, I would have loved it if my own father said this to me. Even once would be nice. What are your predictions on Straw Hat's Laugh-Tale outfits? Yeah, so go Gear 2. Bro, I have Gear 5. Oda, I swear, if this is what I fear it is, this whole thing might just be a child's dream. Luffy finds the One Piece. We don't see it, but he found it. He turns to face the Straw Hats. In unison, they all say, Luffy, it's time to wake up. Luffy squints his eyes, slowly waking up. He is in a modern hospital, facing his family. Each family member resembles one of the Straw Hats. Was it all just a dream? What was the One Piece at the end again? I don't remember. The end. Is King stupid? King really saw this dude and said, yeah, he's gonna bring so much joy to the world. Roger. Shouldn't we go fight Emu and save the world, Roger? Fight Emu? Bruh, I can't even beat Sengoku and Garp. How am I supposed to fight Emu? By the way, I'm disbanding the crew. Good luck! They just pissed off every Fantastic Four fan with this post. Mr. Fantastic be like. True or false? 100% power? 99.5% power. Dog flap riding. This is Shamrock. He's Shank's twin. He's a god knight and... Oda, just give us the time travel arc and let's be done with this trash. Question. Is it possible to downplay Zoro's feats as genetics and destiny without being disingenuous? Zoro is only strong because of his genetics and destiny since he's the descendant of Ryuma. Zoro's dad died to East Blue pirate fodder. Zoro was gonna die to East Blue marine fodder. I quit One Piece after Marineford. Peak writing. Peak villains? Alright, let me leave this dude for now and give him time to recover so he can try to beat me up again for the 6th time. Peak stakes. Damn, I almost died. Let me eat real quick so I can go back to 100 HP. Does anyone think the name is kinda goofy? Wait, his name is actually Shamrock? I thought it was a joke. I love Kizaru, but even he can't escape from slander. I turn blind eye to people I love for sake of government that I despise. Compelling character with complex morality. I did the exact same thing. Hello, fraud resources? Shanks is still a rat. Shamrock wasn't the one who spoke to the Gorosei. Shanks' third identical twin incoming. Does anyone still take Emu seriously? Sabo sneaks into the throne room. Wapol escapes from the palace and frees Vivi. Bible study till Lily Sunday begins. Always cracks me up remembering that Oda created the Red Hair Pirates to be just a regular group of dudes, but the insane longevity of the series and power creep means these dumpy mofos are now borderline gods. Do you guys think Oda went too far this time, or people just overreacting? Put on some pants! Empowering. Personally, I would like her to wear some pants, but I don't really get insulted by her design or anything. God forbid there's a 1% chance Shanks hurts some random guard. Cucumber riding Shanks is our top priority. Power scaling community in shambles. You're Roger's equal. You're Roger's equal. You're Roger's equal. Everyone are Roger's equal. So when is Oda going to reveal that Nami is actually a princess from the long-lost kingdom of Weather? and that she's good at navigating, etc., not because she worked for it, no, it's because of her Weather Kingdom genetics. It absolutely terrifies me. Does slandering someone that's not Usopp, Shanks, Garp, or Dragon frighten you that much? You guys telling me I can't use this picture anymore? Bro is getting paid to look east all season. Dragon in One Piece live action will be played by Rigo Sanchez. Luckiest actor alive, cause now all he gotta do is stand there and look to the right for the next 8 seasons and get paid big money. Gave her pants. Imu got jumped by Fraud Boy and his allies, and still won. Bozo had access to 3 world-ending weapons, a large invulnerable Power Ranger mech, synthetic devil fruits, cloning, a Jesus fruit, and his crew, yet still got bodied. Joy Boy is the biggest jobber in the verse. Is it for real? People actually believe this? There's no way Oda had all this planned out from chapter 1. Bruh, go watch Skypiea again. All the lore drop from this chapter can be traced back 22 years ago. He had it figured out the entire time. This is in reference to the latest chapter with the mural. It's obvious Oda made things up as he went. These people are insane. Guys, if you actually read the manga, in chapter 1, they literally say that Luffy will become the Pirate King. This is foreshadowing to the end of the series, where Luffy becomes the Pirate King. Gave him pants. Now that El Hermano is officially canon, I can't wait for the reveal of Mihawk Blanco, the secret 8th warlord of the sea. 3 Mihawk victims. Guys, the rat memes may have died, but don't forget the daddy memes. Do you know who my father is? Meet my new OC! Guys, here's my One Piece OC, Shamrock! His name is Shamrock, and he is Shanks' secret brother, but he's also evil. He's a super strong swordsman and captain of the God Knights. He even worked with Imu. His girlfriend is really hot and shoots arrows and only wears a tiny pair of undergarments. Hope you like my OC, guys! So, even Nami was supposed to have a special bloodline? Oda, circa 2016. I had conceived the initial plot of Film Strong World to dig into the secret of Nami's birth. The movie staff was shocked to read the content. The story became a little too touching, so I revised it to be more exciting for the young audience. Y'all are telling me that there are now 3 swordsmen Mihawk has never fought? Roger Pirates had their priorities straight. Roger, Rayleigh, and Gabon? Oda just pardoned his favorite character. Credit at Togashi. We find the defendant not guilty. We did it, Captain. Now let's get rid of my child support. Is there a limit to the glaze? Perhaps the greatest feat of writing in human history. Leak. It happened the time Shanks went to marry Joa. Brother, join us. Yeah. She is my partner, Gunko. I will never accept a woman being in the same level as me. Goodbye. I'll go make a crew of only men, and we'll have Bible study, epic adventures. Imagine Oda trolls us with this. Zihahaha, Logia, Paramecia, and finally Zone. All kinds of strongest devil fruit. So that explains how Pell survived. Goda does it again. What the flap? Pell? You were Imu this whole time? The final war if Oda cooks.
What a surprise. I didn't expect to see you again at Mary Joa.
Welcome to my Mary Joa. I thought you would finish it up at Pangaea Castle. Seems you struggled with Straw Hat Luffy more than I anticipated.
Stop projecting your own anguish onto me. You were the one who was defeated by Joy Boy.
Who the flap is Joy Boy? Either way, I appreciate your destroying that awful chair. Thanks to that, I can now stop you.
So, you want to fight me for Joy Boy? I don't see how that benefits you.
Bro, who the flap is Joy Boy? It's not about benefit. Crushing those who try to control me is always the only reason I take action.
It's over, Joy Boy.
That's my string clone, you dummy. Get his cake, Straw Hat. Gamu gamu no. Don Gatling! What you guys think? Luffy isn't a well-written character. Luffy is one of the best and most well-written protagonists ever in fiction. Luffy is the best fictional character ever created, no argument. One Piece is the best fictional story ever created. Best story development, best character development, the most amount of themes, the most amount of references to ancient mythologies, the most depth, the most theories, the most talked about. Period. Everyone laughed at him. What if two different people? Ro was cooking. What if, instead of Shamrock, his sword has the devil fruit? What would your reaction be? How can a sword eat a devil fruit? Mihawk victims confirmed. 3 family members, and not even a black blade. Luffy, as of now, is not beating Akainu. That boy Luffy can last 5 minutes before needing his opponent to defeat him. Huh. Better keep my cake in this office, or the story is finished.